Welcome back to another edition of Smack the Odds. What's good, everybody? If you ever lost a bet by one rebound or cashed at the last second on an assist prop, you already know the NBA is filled with ups and downs, and it's all about timing, discipline, and knowing when to strike. Today, we're going to break down the NBA prop secrets and smart bankroll moves that will be able to help you in order to bet smarter, not harder. If you're serious about taking your sport betting to the next level, stick around because here's where it's going to get deep. And this episode is loaded with value. Now, the first thing you want to acknowledge is line movement. This is very important in understanding when to bet a favorite and when to bet an underdog, when to bet a over, and when to bet a under. You see, each and every game is based on how a team plays against each other. You may have a team that's like the Lakers, number one in the West, and another team that's like the Atlanta Hawks, which they're not ranked as high in the East, but the Lakers tend to have difficulties when playing that team. So you have to understand how teams match up against one another. You want to understand also when you're live betting how momentum could shift and how runs happen. A team may go on an 8-0 run, but it's just because they may have had a turnover or a missed basket or missed some free throws. These are very important things to understand when live betting and betting within momentum. Energy is very key. You need to also look at how a player's body language may look. The bench, are they calling the different calls that the referees are making? All of these play a major part in being able to bet efficiently and maintain good and proper bankroll management. A lot of times people just bet frivolously without a plan. You need to have an entry strategy and also an exit strategy. When you're betting prior to the game, you want to keep in mind bankroll management. What does that look like? Am I going to be betting 1% of my bankroll this week? Am I going to be a little bit more aggressive and bet 10% of my bankroll? You want to keep that in mind and have discipline. Remember, consistency beats intensity. So don't try to win it back on all one game. If you take a loss, go take a shower, have a nap, wake up the next morning, and you're going to do it again. But this time, remember, energy, space, timing, and being in the right mindset plays key. Like, you don't want to be in a relationship with someone and they're nagging you, or you're going through a hardship with your children or with your parents, and then you make a bet. You don't want to bet under those kind of circumstances because you're emotional. You don't want to bet when you're intoxicated, when you're under the influence of liquor. Hence why these casinos make tons of money, because they're looking for you to make a mistake, misread something. It's also very important that you understand who's playing that game. What players are playing? Is this person out? Is this person out? What are the bench rotations? How does that look like? How many minutes is each star getting? They may be on player restriction. These are things you need to know when prop betting and being able to bet more efficiently. And this is a rule of thumb that I came up with, the formula that I like to coin, that I don't know anyone else that does this formula. But if a player generally has two good games, chances are he's going to have an off night. And there's also certain variables that take place that can allow this to happen. Playing back-to-backs, having no rest. Maybe it's a holiday and it's Thanksgiving or Christmas and they may be have a turkey hangover. You get what I'm saying? Those things play a major role in player props. Also, if they're surrounded by a point guard that maybe he's not a pass first point guard and the team has a low value of assists, this could play a major factor in you getting your points. Or another example, let me give you, is they may be playing a smaller front court, like the Golden State Warriors, which is the smallest front court in the association. This is maybe a good prop if you want to have maybe a Nikola Jokić, which is leading the league in rebounds with 11.9. Chances are, if he's facing a lower, shorter front court, he's going to be able to put up some intense rebounds. He's going to be hitting the glass a little bit more effectively. So those are some of the things that I want you guys to understand and know when player prop betting. You got to do your research, know who's the opponent, know how this player plays against that particular opponent, and do your due diligence. Now, if you see that teams are down 10 early and they're getting good looks, but they're just not hitting their shots, and you may be able to get value by going live, those are some good times to get live as well. Get live money. Another way you could get live money is when you have a home team that is getting blown out. Let's say this home team is getting blown out. They're losing and the books are offering plus 23. Chances are that particular team that's visiting, they're going to rotate their players out. So the players that got them that lead, when it's like 5 minutes left, they're going to take those players out. They're going to put in the bench players. I see often that the plus money on big leads normally comes in when betting live for a home team that is a good team. So that's just a free jewel right there for you guys. And that is some information that I feel has value to you when not only player prop betting, but also live betting. Now, when betting overs and unders, is very important to know the rotation, the player rotation, the efficiency, the player matchup, the pace, the differential on points. These are all things that really help you to see if this game is going to go over. Is it going to go under? Is this a team that when they go up, they like to slow the pace? Is it a team that plays fast and they shoot a lot of threes? These are the things that you need to know, and you need to know how they correlate when those particular teams play one another. That's very important for you. Another thing you want to look at is the shooting percentage, the 3-point field goal attempts, and also the field goals that are made. Not only the field goals, the 3-point field goal percentage plays a very key role in betting over and unders, understanding how teams play, not just the starters, the bench as well, because you're betting collectively for both teams to be able to put numbers on the board or not. You could either bet the over or the under. These are very good ways for you to cash in and be able to build your bankroll. That's very important. And you need to know slower squads, like the Clippers, they're older, they're slower, they play at a slower pace. You need to understand tempo can kill your totals. It's very important to understand that when betting over and unders. Know who's playing who. You got two older teams that may be on, back-to-back. That may be a good indication to take an under. So know what's going on. Know exactly how to leverage your bets properly in order to not get smacked by the books, and you will be the one doing the smacking. Now, smart bankroll management moves. A rule of thumb is you want to keep your bankroll between 2 to 3% of your total bankroll. You shouldn't risk any more than that on each particular bet, but you also want to have models set up. So certain models that you have set up may indicate, hey, this is a rare opportunity where I'm going to be able to get a huge amount of value. Let me go ahead and slam this pick. And those normally turn out well. If you have a model that you have in which works for you, you want to slam it at that particular time. So understand that, understand how to have good discipline and bankroll management. And you don't want to be all over the place. I see so many people they have 7 tickets, 8 tickets in a day. Eventually, the law of average and the law of numbers states that the more you put out there, the more you can make a mistake. So just being disciplined, not picking your shots, not being all over the place, picking the games that you like and really honing in on those. And then you can leverage live if you see it at a better number than what you initially got that particular number for. You may see it and say, hey, look, this team looks defeated. I may want to go this way. You have to take your time and understand how to formulate your model and stick to your model by having great discipline. Another great way you can exploit value is, let's say a line opened up at 224 over and under, and the teams are just going on runs. They run after run after run, and the top player has gotten 31 the first half. The top players 31, 19. This is not feasible to sustain. It's not feasible to sustain 60% from three-point range. So a lot of times the books tend to throw out numbers 245 over and under. This team doesn't even score 215 a game. So it's very important to sense those and know those particular lines when they overvalue those lines and hit them in the head, get the under. Now, this can backfire depending on if you know the teams, if they just continue to get hot, if the bench players come in and they're hot as well. Apply caution when betting live, and bet live on teams that you really understand their dynamics. You know how they play. You know how the bench players play, and you've done your due diligence. If not, you can always reach out to us here at Smack the Odds, where we'll help you to identify the player props which best work for you. We'll come up with a detailed plan for you to accelerate your bankroll growth. Keep in mind, we're not financial advisors, and betting does involve risk in which you can lose it all. However, we have years of experience and a proven track record. So do join the community. If you feel like you've got value from this podcast, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything that you want to chime in, maybe a question on the podcast, do comment it. We love the Q&A section, and we're more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And let's continue to grow and keep smacking, you guys. Another thing that you need to identify is ATS. Remember this, we don't care who wins. Only thing that matters is who covers. Did they cover? So ATS, it stands for against the spread. That is a number that is tracked to show a team's record in covering against another team's record in covering. This is very important when choosing a pick, because a team may have trouble covering a team, but they never beat this team. And that's something that you need to know. You need to be able to identify with if a team is struggling with another team. The teams that we have right now in the league, that's the best covering teams. These are teams that you may not want to bet against. We have the Philadelphia 76ers, 8-2 ATS. We have the Chicago Bulls, 7-2 ATS. We have the Detroit Pistons, 7-3 ATS. We have the Los Angeles Lakers, 7-3 ATS. We also have the Miami Heat at 7-3. These are the top 5 teams against the spread. So you want to understand that when betting NBA, like, look, these teams are facing another team that it may be a larger spread. You may want to stay away from it or take the plus money. Another thing you want to keep in mind is the top leading scorers in the league. If you're betting props, we have the top 5 rounding out with Giannis, Tyrese Maxey, and actually Austin Reeves is in the top 5. He's 31 a game. Donovan Mitchell, top 5 performer. And shout out to the Suns, the Phoenix Suns. D-Book is number 6 in the league currently, averaging 29.3 points a game. They just got Jalen Green back, and I really like them this week on a few games that I spotted early. So look for them to make a big push. Right now, their record isn't reflecting who they are, but they have a nice young team over there and a great rotation. Another thing you want to keep in mind is Nikola Jokić. Please beware. There's nothing that the league has seen like this man. He's averaging a triple-double, shooting 65% from the field. This is insane. He's averaging a triple-double, 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 11.9 assists. He's actually the assist leader. So now we're having bigs that are being the assist leaders. That's very important. And you want to know which teams are hot right now. The top 4 teams that are hot right now are the New York Knicks, 4-game winning streak. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 4-game winning streak. You also have the Detroit Pistons with the 6-game winning streak. These teams are hot, but look for some of the teams that are supposed to be higher up in rankings to make a push this week as well. We have the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're going to make a push this week to have their record improve in the standings. So look for the Dallas Mavericks to make a strong push this week as well. Now, for tomorrow, we have some good games tomorrow. We have the Lakers versus the Hornets, the Blazers and the Magic. We also have the Cavs and the Heat. That's going to be a good matchup. The Spurs and the Bulls. And we have the Bucks and the Mavs. So stay tuned. Make sure you do subscribe and follow. Also, click on the shorts, comment on the shorts, and let's keep smacking. If you feel like you got value from this episode, do reach out. We love to hear the feedback. And thank you guys. Let's keep smacking.